Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of Radar, the podcast which takes you into Safran's universe and focuses on our strategic subjects. My name is Alexandre Keller, I'm working at the corporate communications at Safran, and I'll be your guide today. 1 year ago, on June 14th, 2021, CFM, the joint venture between Safran and GE, presented the ambitious RISE program, which stands for Revolutionary Innovation for Sustainable Engines. The aim of this program is to achieve a 20% reduction in CO2 emissions by 2035. It is a key program in reducing the environmental footprint of the aviation industry. So 1 year on from the launch of RISE, where are we now? What steps have already been taken? Which teams are involved in the project? But most importantly, how do you create and run a project that is of such fundamental importance to the future of Safran and of aviation in general? We shine a spotlight on the RISE program with Delphine Dijoud, who is Next Generation Propulsion Executive Manager at Safran Aircraft Engines. Let's take a journey into the future of carbon-free aviation with our guests. Hello, Delphine Dijoud.
Hello.
So you're the Next Generation Propulsion Executive Manager for the CFM RISE program. This program, which was introduced to the general public 1 year ago, has a very ambitious goal. You're targeting a 20% reduction in emissions of polluting gases by 2035, or even 80% if kerosene is replaced by sustainable fuels. This is the most ambitious improvement ever targeted by a program for civil aircraft engines. Delphine, can you remind us, what are the key components of this technology program? What will this engine of the future look like?
So first thing, RISE is not only an engine. It's a combination of many technical components, such as open fan engines, meaning large diameter without nacelle, hybridization, sustainable fuel or hydrogen compatibility, lightweight materials, high temperature materials, and also more connected engines, for example. So we are pioneers with this program of such magnitude. So we develop all those technical components, and the aim is really to meet the needs of the aircraft manufacturers and of the market for sure, regardless of which aircraft architecture they would choose.
So, if we understand, the goal is to create a general propulsion system that will deliver lower and better fuel consumption, especially with SAFs, which are the sustainable air fuels, which we talked about in our first episode of Radar. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely. This new engine will be 100% compatible with SAF, but also with hydrogen. Liquid hydrogen presents technical constraints already presented in a previous podcast. That's why we are working with Airbus on a flight demo on that subject.
In October 2021, which is not so long ago, some major commercial aviation players, including Safran, GE, CFM, and others, collectively committed to achieving carbon neutrality by 2050. We can say that RISE is a major part of this journey, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a major step on the decarbonation. Today, the open fan architecture, which is the most promising one in terms of CO2 saving, will bring more than 20% of fuel consumption reduction. It's also a challenge because we need to move forward very quickly in terms of technology demonstration with more disruptive technologies than what we did for CFM56 and LEAP. So in terms of time frame, first thing is to get to a first ground and flight demo by the middle of this decade so that we are ready to launch a new engine development for an entry into service around 2035.
2035? It's both a long and a short period of time.
Absolutely. It's a sprint and a marathon at the same time.
So Delphine, what were your key priorities for the last year?
We have different activities to perform in parallel. First thing is to discuss with our airframers, in particular on the integration of the engine to the aircraft, making sure that we take the full benefit of the architectures we develop and of the different technology bricks. Then we launch many test rigs in parallel. So just an order of magnitude, we have more than 300 tests to perform in the next years. And then we get ready for the execution of the engine demonstration that I mentioned just before. So we have a strong activity and getting organized between Safran and GE with a lot of workshops, innovation, maturation workshop, making sure that we launch the design of the engine demonstrator correctly.
So from what you're telling us, Delphine, we understand that RISE is a technological and environmental challenge, but it's also a challenge for Safran's teams, right?
Yes, that's a great adventure for the teams. Right now, we are more than 1,000 engineers working on that. 15 group companies are involved in the project. And we develop new skills, new competencies on existing disciplines, but also on advanced disciplines such as electrification, hybridization, or advanced materials. We work on the training of our current and next generation engineers. And that's not the end. So if you are interested by this adventure, please join us. We have many opportunities for you. And as a conclusion, the RISE project is just like the LEAP. It's strategic for Safran and also for the entire ecosystem around us. It will contribute to the development of the entire aeronautics sector, both in terms of jobs and industrial capacities.
Well, thank you very much, Delphine Dijoud, for being our radar for this episode, which focused on the RISE program. See you soon and stay tuned to the Radar podcast.